Alrighty. Hello everyone, this is Julia and today we're going to be talking about another romantic comedy. It's my second review and for this time I decided to do a more recent movie. This one is also on Netflix. This one happened to come up in my recommended, not surprisingly, and I thought, hey, that's like really recent. It's 2018. And I was curious about it. And I like the writer slash main character actor. So, main lead, I guess is what that's called. So I thought it would be cool as my second video. So if you've seen the title, you know that I'm doing I Feel Pretty today. So, I Feel Pretty is a 2018 rom-comedy that stars Amy Schumer, Michelle Williams in a surprising role. That was really cool. Rory Scovel, who I am not really familiar with, but he's kind of the male lead, or the male love interest, I would say. And so I chose this because it's really recent and because I thought it interests me. It was an interesting concept. If you're not familiar, basically the idea is that Amy Schumer plays a woman named Renee. And Renee is, I don't know, early 30s, sort of a media job. She's like in charge of, or she works on the online part of I think it's a makeup company's website, called Lily LeClaire, and she has very bad body image and just general sort of self-image. She doesn't think she's attractive, idealizes beautiful women, and wants to be more like them. So the premise of the movie is that she hits her head, wakes up, and thinks that she's beautiful, and things go from there. So sort of similar to my first video, I kind of want to start with what I like, generally what I think, my thesis, and then kind of go from there. So the first is, what do I think? So I like this movie. I liked it. There are lots of things that are not great, but I liked it, guys. I don't know, like it made me feel good. It had some moments where I was just like, oh, so good. It's the ideas behind it are admirable, and I think that they're important, but I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings about this movie, so let's just get into it. So the first thing I want to kind of touch on is something that I think I want to do, which is kind of briefly touch on what the world is saying about a movie, especially if it's a more recent movie, because then there isn't that kind of like looking back aspect, the nostalgia aspect. I kind of wanted to look at, so I watched the movie before looking at any criticism about it or reviews. After I watched it, I looked, and it has a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, and if you're not familiar, that's not good. It's kind of like, getting a 35% on an assignment. It's a fail. It's rotten. The tomato is rotten, which I'm not like totally shocked about, because it's a bit of a mess. Or no, I don't want to say that it's a mess. I just think it's lacking polish, it's lacking nuance, and there's some weird stuff in it that doesn't quite work out. And I'll kind of take you through that, and maybe I will start at what I liked. So what I liked about this movie is the love story. I thought it was interesting because when I saw I Feel Pretty on Netflix, it was labeled under comedies, but it wasn't labeled under romance. And because I didn't really want to look at reviews before I watched it. I went into it not being entirely sure if I was going to end up talking about it in a review, because I thought maybe it's not going to be a romantic comedy. Maybe it's a chick flick, but not a romantic comedy, which is like pretty rare, but it definitely exists. Or like it could be like a really minor plot line of like a love interest, but like not enough to make it a romantic comedy. And then I would have just sort of said, okay, well, that's not my realm. This is not within my realm. But it is definitely a romantic comedy. I don't know why it wasn't tagged as a romance, but that's ridiculous. It's definitely has. I mean, it again ends on literally the movie ends on a romantic last scene. So like it's a rom-com. So definitely belongs here with us. But I really like the romantic storyline. First of all, I didn't entirely know when our male lead shows up on the scene. I didn't know for sure that was where this was going. And that's kind of fun because I feel like it's always so obvious. And part of that was because this guy was perfectly fine, but not like, this guy is not striking. You know, he's not like sweep you off your feet kind of thing. He is like kind of like a normal looking guy, which I don't at all mean as an insult. It's just that with movies or you know, media, especially American, guys don't look, I mean, women definitely don't look normal, but also men don't look normal. They don't look like average men. You like, they look like models. So he doesn't look like a model or even an actor that much. He looks like kind of a normal, like a cute guy, like a normal guy, and he's not especially charming or especially charismatic when they first meet, and the way that they kind of go about dating is a bit unusual, and but it's very sweet, and he is so, I don't know, he's like, see guys, I don't even know, like, it's very kind of everyday, the conversations that they have, and at first they really don't know each other and they don't have a dynamic yet, but it like builds, and there's this real appreciation for each other, and I just really liked it. I really liked it. I really liked him. I really liked the way that she interacts with him, because part of the structure of the movie, right, is that she hits her head and then sees herself as beautiful. And in her own mind, she looks different. But we learn from her interactions with others that she doesn't look, with the people who already know her, she doesn't look different. But she thinks that she looks different. And so she has this confidence with the male lead, Ethan, right the first time, that is very charming, and he finds very charming, and they have such a good time because she feels good about herself, and he, like, it's interesting because I feel like he's able to look past her, you know, physical shortcomings because she's so confident and out there, and I think that's such an interesting dynamic. Not that he's like, not that you ever get the sense that he doesn't think she's attractive, like, it's not like that, it's just that the more that she's like, I'm hot stuff, the more he's like, damn, she's hot stuff, which I think is just like a common psychological kind of trick or something. Not trick, but it's a phenomenon, I guess. So, but he's so like down to earth, and they have these great interactions, but they're not like perfect. They're not like super witty and like back and forth to the point that you don't ever feel like anybody actually talks like that, especially like people who haven't met. So it's just really sweet, and like for that alone, I do recommend it if you like a good love story. Like, not anything dramatic and sweeping, but like just people hanging out and connecting. I really liked it for that. So I would definitely watch it. I would recommend that you watch it. I might actually watch it again. I'm not sure. It was sweet. I really liked it. And I often don't really like, or I'm picky. I'm hard to please. Which is why I have this channel, because I have lots to say. But if we put the storyline aside, the themes and the way they explore the themes in the movie are tricky. It's tricky. I'll start just by saying that, like, in this movie, you just get the sense that Amy Schumer thinks that she is the ugliest piece of shit that ever lived. And that's weird. She definitely isn't. Like, not. There's just so much in the movie to reflect someone's belief, her or the writers or whoever's belief, that she is incredibly unattractive. There are meows in the background. That is my cat freaking out. What is up with you? She's apparently going to be present in all of these videos, so that's cool. So first of all, yes. So in the world of this movie, Amy Schumer is an ugly piece of shit. That's you have to kind of buy into that for everything else to make sense. And I get it. Like, Amy Schumer is not a model. She'd never be confused for a model. But like 95% of us would never be confused for a model. That is not a unique position to be in. And so she works for this makeup conglomerate kind of thing. It's a little bit unclear, but I think that they are a makeup company. And throughout the movie, people keep kind of visibly reacting to her looks in such a way that it's just like awful and unbelievable. Like, you know, she'll go to the main offices of this makeup company because she doesn't work in the main offices, and the woman at the front desk will kind of look at her like, what are you doing here? Like, oh, who are you? And maybe I'll put a clip in here if I can be bothered to learn how to do that.
Renee Bennett? Yeah, I'm Renee. Hi.
No, I'm looking for Renee Bennett for the receptionist job.
That's me. Here.
Okay.
And the woman doesn't, the like hot model at the front desk doesn't seem to believe her, which like is weird to me because I don't know. I don't know a lot about the inner workings of makeup companies, but I really feel like they probably have people who work like in the background that are like not especially gorgeous because like, I don't know, it's not necessary. Like, if you're behind the scenes, is it really that necessary? I don't know, it's just weird. At another point, she applies to be the receptionist, and everyone just seems to be genuinely shocked that she would think that she could be the face of the company, i.e. the receptionist, because of her terrible, terrible pig face, I guess.
Yeah.
Renee, we appreciate you taking the initiative, but you're not exactly the obvious choice for this job.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, she's not Elephant Man. She's like bigger bones and a little bit more flesh, and her features are not like model-esque, I suppose, but like, it's weird. And I think like, when she like goes into stores and like a salesperson comes up to her, and I'll maybe put it in this clip as well, and basically tells her like we have limited sizing as like a way to like tell her to leave. And like, I don't know, maybe this happens in like New York. I think this is also set in New York because again, rom-coms, New York, vaguely media type sort of advertising jobs. It's the thing to do, right? As a rom-com heroine. But I think, yeah, so this happens to her. Like, you may not be able to tell, you probably can. I am sort of like in the borderline of plus size. Some sort of straight stores fit me, many don't. I have never just been like, had someone come up to me and just sort of tell me that they don't have sizes for me. Again, I've never lived in a place like New York, but to me that's just like crazy, and it's never happened to me, and I've never heard it happen to anyone else. And I'm bigger than Amy Schumer. I'm taller. I am larger. So what? when you see how she's treated in the movie, you think, oh, no wonder. Like, no wonder you want so badly to be pretty. But it feels like somebody projecting like their own insecurities into the world. Like, oh, it's not just me who feels self-conscious and conspicuous because I'm not modelesquely beautiful. It's everyone else who's also seeing that in me and judging the crap out of me. And it's just like, I don't think so. I am not modelesquely beautiful, and sure I have makeup and lighting and I don't know, whatever, it might come together nicely, but like, what's up? What's up? You're being extremely silly. You do know how to help you. I don't want to just say, oh, she's having a bit of an Amy Schumer pity party and that's annoying, though it is annoying. I think more importantly, it's that if a woman, let's be honest, mostly women are going to be watching this. If a woman watches this and sees how much like the outside world thinks Amy Schumer is a train wreck of a person, reference to the other Amy Schumer movie, train wreck, yeah. Okay, moving. And they see, oh, I'm even less conventionally attractive than Amy Schumer. I must be, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I was feeling a little bit self-conscious because I was like, whoa, if Amy Schumer, like, is just, like, totally a failure of a woman, then, like, what am I? Anyway, I hope that makes sense. It's just a weird message and kind of irresponsible. Like, before you go on some kind of tear about how hideous you are and how you have to come to terms with how hideous you are, like, and how hard it is for you to be so hideous, like, check yourself and be aware that there are probably people struggling more than you, whether, like, in reality or just in terms of their mental health. Like, in this movie, she has, like, very well-fitting clothes. She's obviously good with makeup because she, like, works for a makeup company and is very interested in makeup, and she has, like, beautifully curled blonde hair. So, like, it just could be so much worse, and it's just a weird message. Of course, that's not the message, really. It's the message, like, she thinks that she's attractive and, like, things start to go better for her. She starts dating somebody, and that's going well, and then she gets this new role in her company, and because she has the confidence, right? It's all about confidence, is what we've learned. It's all about confidence. It's all about thinking that you're beautiful, I guess. Not, like, capable or competent or worthwhile, but, like, thinking that you're beautiful can get you really far. And so we learn that, and it's a good message. And I don't think they're wrong. I think that feeling like you are enough as you are, and that you're attractive and that you're worthy of things as you are is a really important step towards achieving the things that you want. But there's just something really sad about how much this Renee character needs to be beautiful in order to feel like she's worthwhile. And I think that they kind of try to address that, but it still doesn't quite come together. It's not a nuanced message, let's say. Okay, so I want to take a detour, or go off on a tangent for a second, because there's this character, Avery LeClaire, who is so good. So good. At least, I don't know, I really liked her because I was just really amused by watching Michelle Williams play such a different character from what she usually plays. And it's the kind of thing where, like, my boyfriend was, like, came into the room while she was on screen, and I, like, paused it and asked him if he knew who the actress was, and he couldn't place her because she looked so different and she sounds so different. She's putting on this voice, and it's just such a pleasure to watch. Like, it's just so interesting that she was like, yes, that role, I want it. But I think she's really funny and really great, and her and Amy Schumer have a great dynamic, and she's, I think, well, she's sort of one of the foils against the Amy Schumer character, Renee. Avery LeClaire is, by all accounts, like, tiny and blonde and beautiful, and also, like, comes from a bunch of money because she's, like, the granddaughter of Lily LeClaire. So but she has her own problems and she has her own insecurities. And so like one of the themes of this movie, one of the like groundbreaking messages is, get this guys, attractive people have problems too. I wrote that down. Attractive people have problems too. She bumps into this like model friend of hers who talks about like being dumped by this guy who was like didn't treat her well. And the Amy Schumer character, Renee, is shocked. She's shocked that somebody that beautiful could be dumped by somebody. And it's just like, really? Like, I guess that's a revelation, and I certainly think it's worth reinforcing, but also, did we not kind of know that if we like thought that through? Like, people are not automatically happy because they're beautiful. People are not automatically happy because they're beautiful. Obviously, that it doesn't work that way. It's not that simple. And maybe I'm just gonna start backtracking and say that I feel really bad because there might be lots of women, young women, maybe girls, who don't really realize this. And I mean, I don't know, a movie with fictional characters is really gonna convince anyone, but like, take it from me. Being beautiful does not make you happy automatically. It can help, but it doesn't make you happy. And it doesn't mean that people can't hurt you or that you can't feel insecure or any of that stuff. Anyway, so it's a good message. It's just a bit simplistic. It's a bit like rah girl power. It just feels a little bit dated. To me, I feel like we've kind of post that. I don't know. We're like post that like love who you are and like body confidence and body acceptance. Like we're kind of in that kind of season now. So yeah, it just feels a bit weak, but it is a good message, I suppose. There's some interesting implications, like that I kind of want to touch on. Like at one point she decides to, because she thinks that she's traditionally, or like, I don't say conventionally attractive because she's not conventionally attractive model. She thinks that she looks like a model. Let's go with that. So she enters herself into a like bikini contest at some random bar on the beach, and the guy she's dating is like, oh god, like this is a bad idea, which I understand, like it sucks, but I understand why he would feel that way. And anyway, she enters it, and she at first everyone's like, crickets, who's this girl who's not a size 2, I guess, entering this contest. And inevitable happened, and I shook my tripod, and so I might be in a different position, or like I might be framed differently. I'm sorry, I'm still learning. Sorry about that. So, bikini contest, crickets, but then she like gets them to do a dance, like she makes them put on a song, she does a dance, it's very charming, it's very funny. Yeah, it's mostly just like really funny and like fun, and she like pours water on herself, and it's a good time, you know. She's got a sense of humor about it, and it's like, I think it's like sexy too. I think she's like I think she has enough going on that like it's a sexy performance. And I noticed like a bikini type outfit on, that girl has abs. That girl has abs. That's impressive. She is not, like, she does not work at it, you know? And so, like, I don't know, it just feels so weird to me that this whole movie is about how unattractive she is. And she has abs. Not like a flat stomach, because I don't think her body type allows for that completely, but, like, she's got abs. Like, when she's, like, grinding and stuff, you can see them. And, like, it doesn't matter what dance move I do, there are no apps to see. You can't see them. So that's impressive, and also kind of just makes you feel weird about the whole conceit of the movie. I don't think in the movie she's especially into the gym. Like, she goes to the gym a couple times, but I don't know. She does this dance, and there's a bunch of cheering, and she's very fun. She doesn't win, which I think is great, because, like, that would feel unrealistic, but at the same time, she has a lot of fun, and she makes a comment about how she gets, like, free food for doing it or something, and she's great, and he's great, and they have a good time with it. And then some guy comes up to her date, or her love interest, and basically says, like, you've got a really good one there, like, she's a catch. And the implication really is that, like, what did I put? Hot plus boring is not as good as fun, which is interesting. And I, like, kind of agree, but then I also kind of feel like it's a bit of a jab to hot women. It's like, oh, he's like, oh, you know, the winner, like, she had to win, but, you know, they're, I don't know. He says, maybe I'll put in a clip.
Now, the girl who won, who happens to be my godniece, of course, she was hotter. But let's say this. It's a lonely, dark night. You got a flat. Who do you want next to you? Your girl. Yeah. Your girl can handle herself in a knife fight, and I like that.
So, yeah, I don't know. But also kind of nice, because I think it's worth saying that women are worth more than just how they look. Again, I got another, oh really? Who knew? We're learning so much. But it deserves to be said. So, because this is a recent movie, and because I suspect that, like, nobody has seen it, I don't know. That's my statistical estimate. No one. I'm hesitant to give the end away, even though I said in my previous video that I would always be giving the ends away. Because I do think that people should, or that you, if you enjoy romantic comedies, should watch it. I think you could like it. But there's a lot of interesting stuff that I haven't touched on. There's some good stuff about, like, the average woman and what they're looking for, and that they just, like, they matter too. But again, that feels just a little bit dated. I don't know. I just felt a little bit like, yeah, but, like, it's not like a groundbreaking statement or even, like, interesting. It just sort of is like Dove, Real Women, or whatever that campaign is. That, like, that's already kind of old, and it's already had some backlash about, like, something like it's like every woman is beautiful. What if we change that so, like, it doesn't matter if a woman is beautiful, right? Like, that kind of taking the next step and saying, well, instead of assuring all, like, women that no matter what, they can be beautiful or they are beautiful, what if we say that it doesn't matter if they're beautiful? Like, we're kind of moving to another step, and I feel like this is very much, like, back in the kind of, like, hashtag Dove. Whatever that tagline is, I could look it up, but you get what I'm saying. So, yes, there's an arc that, what was I talking about? There's an arc that goes up. But obviously, like, it has to come back down. We're not just going to watch a whole movie about how great her life is. So, the arc kind of goes down. It turns out that, like, thinking you're hot shit can have some drawbacks, which I think is a good point. She becomes a little bit insufferable. And I think that this is true, like, throughout the movie with the character. Like, the character is very preoccupied with beauty. And she puts that onto other people. And that's not cool. And I think, like, she puts it onto her friends, and they become really uncomfortable and feel kind of, like, feel insulted, which they should, because, you know, it's one thing to say, oh, everyone is beautiful. And everyone can be beautiful or can be sexy or can be desirable. And to say that everyone needs to be beautiful, that everyone needs to be sexy or desirable in a particular way, or at all. You know, if you have no desire, if you're a woman who has no desire to be sexy to anyone, that should be okay too, you know? So they kind of touch on that a little bit, so that's good. And, like, I like how they do it, because it felt like a natural progression that she would become a little bit insufferable and kind of a dick. So that kind of happens, and then there's sort of a bit of a crisis, and then the switch gets flipped back, because obviously it has to, right? They can't go on. And then she has a meltdown, which I actually really liked how they did that, because she has a real freaking meltdown. Like, she thinks that she's gone from looking better, looking great, looking like a model, to her old self. And she never really dealt with her insecurities about how she looks, right? So she goes right back to, like, thinking she's a piece of shit. Because that's what we've been told. Amy Schumer looks like a piece of turd. So she goes back and she's like a meltdown and like is like devastated, and it's sad to watch, and it's kind of believable. And she ends up kind of like pulling away from all the good things that were happening in her life, and eventually she figures out that she never looked any different. That helps. I am giving you the movie. I just want to talk to you guys about all of the movie, because I have feelings about all of it. So she finds out that she's the same, right? And she has kind of like an aha moment, and then she gives this speech, like, in this like press release, kind of like like a launch party for a makeup brand, and she gives this speech. It's very inspiring. It's all about like everybody's beautiful, blah blah blah. I think it's a bit simplistic. I think it's a bit dated. If you relate to the Amy Schumer character at the beginning, I'm not judging you for, like, I'm not judging anybody for that. I think many women would. Then I think that the speech would be very sort of relevant to those feelings. I don't know if it's that I'm a little bit older, or that I have worked through some of this stuff around body image and self-image and wanting to be beautiful. I'm not like devastated that I don't look like a model. And I'm not crippled by insecurity that I don't look like a model. Oh gosh, okay. I've gotten into real talk. Sorry guys. I won't go into this too far, but basically I don't feel those things. I'm occasionally bummed that I don't look as great in clothes, in all clothes, than I could. That might be it. Obviously it would be like really fun to be more beautiful and more striking and whatever, but at the same time I feel very strongly that it wouldn't make as huge a difference in my life as I think. So coming back to what I was actually saying, it's a speech that, it needed to be said, and about how she's come to terms with herself, and she's realizing that she's too hard on herself, blah 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 blah. So yeah, like I would say that like the themes of the like self-image and body acceptance and self-acceptance, and realizing that like you don't have to be beautiful to be happy, I think those are all great. And I think maybe like 10 years ago for me they would have had more resonance. What really kind of kept me plugged into this movie was the love story. And I warned you guys, I told you guys I'm really into the love stories. And of course they have their own arc of like, it's good and then it's bad and it gets good again. Spoilers. When things hit a rough patch, it's just so, it just hurt my heart. It was so sad and so good and so sad, and he was so nice and so sweet, and he's just so normal but also nice. And anyway, you should watch it. They're very sweet. I like them a lot together. So it just felt like a bit of a different storyline. I don't know. It was really low key, and I kind of like low key. I like low key, but like there's like a thing. There's some energy. I don't know. There's a connection. And the characters are very natural, and they feel like real people. And guys, I don't know. Go watch it. Or I mean, if you've already watched it, shockingly, tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree with me about the love story, or the other themes, and whether or not you think it was like super on point, or if the exploration of the themes are a bit ham-fisted. Is that the right word? I think it is. Like just kind of awkwardly done, or like done and like handled awkwardly, and like just not the most delicate hand, And it's very relatable moments, right? Amy Schumer's she really pushes on the I think the sort of relatable thing, like some physical humor. There's some toilet humor I didn't really care for. Not that I never liked toilet humor, it wasn't funny to me. So the movie's kind of like inconsistent in terms of actually being, I wouldn't say it's like laugh out loud funny, but it's sweet and she's humorous, I guess, and I liked it. So I hope that all kind of made sense. I feel like that I jumped around a bit, but like straight talk, I'm gonna jump around a bit. That's just like who I am. I will consider making more of an outline of what I'm going to talk about in the next one, but I can't make any promises. It's not my nature. This is for fun. This is to shoot the shit. This is to get with you guys. Gabbing with the girls. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. I have to keep working. Oh my god, I've gotten nowhere in this. I gotta keep doing. I don't know if you can quite see this little beast over here, but this cat has decided that she would also like to be a YouTube star. So that's cool. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think of the movie if you've already seen it, or if you're going to watch it in light of my comments. Let me know in the comments. In light of my comments in the comments. In light of my video, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have any requests for the film that I do next, I'm happy to hear that. I would be thrilled to hear what people have on their radar, or what they want to know more about, or what they have really strong feelings about, and are like, does somebody else also have these strong feelings? Because like, I get that feeling. My life is that feeling. I'm trying to find people who get it. So I want to be there for you. Okay. Good night. And I will talk to you soon.